and happy 2022. So this is the first video I'm doing in 2022, so I hope you guys all had a lovely Christmas and a wonderful new year, and I hope it's starting to go the way you want it to go. I've been watching lots of like goal videos and things like that, just as kind of what I've been into. Like at Christmas I'm watching all like the gift guides and stuff, so I've been watching lots of goal videos, like how people plan their goals, meet their goals, particularly people that are reflecting on last year's goals, and like you can kind of watch that video and then see that they've literally got all their goals accomplished from last year. So it's really inspired me. So I do have goals and I tend to make a note of them in different places, and I've accomplished a lot of them last year, not all of them. Some I didn't even attempt, which is kind of what's the point of setting a goal. I mean, one was to be queen. It's probably a bit unrealistic, but we can dream. So my aim this year is to be a lot more kind of better with my time. So like I'm very much I tend to multitask, but overload myself multitasking. So like if I'm watching a movie, I'm on my phone. If I'm watching a movie, I'm still trying to like write notes with things. So I don't fully relax to watch the movie, and whatever I'm working on isn't to the best of my ability either. Obviously as a mom, we tend to multitask, like you're trying to exercise while entertaining the kids, you're cooking while entertaining the kids, you're ironing while entertaining the kids. I get all of that, but I just mean even the time that's just mine, like when she's at nursery or with her dad and I are not together, so I do have that time. I don't focus on just like one thing. It's like I focus on like 5 things in the same hour, whereas I could do an hour on this, an hour on that, an hour on that, and then I've had some time. I don't do that, so that's one of my main goals this year. So I've been following, I followed it a little bit last year, but not like meticulously following it. But that was The Secret. If you're not familiar with it, I'll link it below so you can check it out. I got mine on eBay or Amazon, I can't remember. But it's basically about following the law of attraction. It's all about manifesting, and a lot of the YouTubers I follow, a lot of these celebrities that I'm inspired by, you know, people that have like, they're not just an actor or a singer, they do charity work. They've like funded amazing projects and products. People like Elon Musk, people like that like follow meditation and manifesting and all of that kind of healthiness and all about being with the universe and everything like that. I've kind of been inspired by those people to do that myself this year. So I've had a few things. One was this law of attraction planner. It's a freedom mastery planner. I haven't written in it yet because I love stationery, I love notebooks, and I will have to find like the perfect pen, because that will be the only pen I can write. So I can't use a pen that I've already been using, because what if it runs out? And I've like been setting down my goals in my little other notebook over here. Also the notebook over there, I've transferred them and stuff, and then I'm going to make a vision board. So this will be filled in. So I'll do another video on this. I think it's really interesting. So I'll do another video on like law of attraction and stuff when I've got a bit more involved into it. I read somewhere that it takes like 21 days to develop kind of like little habits, and for them to, you know, like if you're going to get up at 7 a.m. every day, do it for 21 days, and then eventually you'll just be doing it or practicing gratitude. There's some things that are bigger scale that apparently take like 3 months to fully get into and fully make it part of who you are. So I will be doing a bit about my law of attraction journey, but after like my 3 months is kind of done, 3 months to tell you how I feel about it. Put that down. Yeah, so I will be filling this in at some point and do like a little video on how detailed this is then. But for now, I just wanted to like a quick goals video, mostly so that hopefully I can inspire you with some goals if you haven't set any, or maybe if any of you've got similar goals we can connect, or just I thought it'd be cool like this time next year to look back and see what I've managed to accomplish. And I'm hoping this holds me a bit more accountable. So like on the worst, even if I say like, oh yeah, you know, I'll meet friends when I don't have Jasmine, like sorry, even like once every other month, I don't actually do it unless I've got Jasmine with me. I don't do it. So it's on my own, and I could like, you know, go to a coffee shop and I'm not going to entertain Jasmine or be like listening to her go, can we go now when we've got there and it's been like 20 minutes, or you know, she wants one cake, then she doesn't like that one, and I'm up and down to the till all the time and taken to the bathroom when I can literally just focus on like some adult conversation with me and my friend. It never happens. Even once every other month, that was my goal last year. Rarely happened, like rarely happened. So even things like that I'm not very good at. So I'm hoping that this video will hold me more accountable, because could you imagine doing a video next year and being like, I like 5 goals and did none of them. Like, none of them worked out, especially the ones that I'm in control of. So I'm hoping this holds me more accountable. So I'm going to make a vision board for my bedroom. I am that person. I said all last year I was going to do one and I just never did. So I'm hoping that will also help me meet my goals. So I've kind of written down all the goals I wanted to achieve, and then I grouped them into like whether they were like self-love, parenting, a major goal like a dream, a fitness goal, or whatever it was, and then tried to group them smaller. And then I've done plan of action. Obviously, being queen, I mean, I've just kept that one off now. It's going to be a busy year, I think. So yeah, I wanted to share them with you, and if you have some similar ones, then comment down below. Maybe we can give each other a little bit of motivation here and there, a little bit of a kick you up the arse, make sure you're doing it. So let me find my pages now. So I've written these ones just in this cute little book that I got from Poundland. Right, so one of my main, this is like my main personal goals. Obviously, like parenting my daughter and being the best parent I can, all that is my main goal. But I just kind of wrote them in order they came in my head and then grouped them in that order. So my first one is, you might be surprised to know this, but I've actually written a book. I used to write loads of books when I was little. One of my aunties actually has a whole like linen bag, like black bag full of them in the attic that I wrote when I was a kid. It's just my passion about like reading, writing and all that stuff. And I started writing one when I was 24, so almost 10 years ago. I was in like a really bad mental health space, and just kind of writing helped me get over that. And then various things happened. If you watch my nose breakdown video, a lot happened over those years. I lost a lot of my confidence as well, became a mom. So although here and there picked up on it and tried to work on it, I'll have moments where like for 3 months I'm blasting it out, and then either something happens or my confidence kind of takes a hit, and then I don't really believe in myself to go any further with it. So it is finished. I've been editing non-stop over those 10 years, but my aim now is to kind of stop procrastinating and get that published. I want like an October release date, simply because it gives me time to go through it again, get beta readers. They are people who will read it and kind of read it as a finished product. I don't mean read and pick up on grammar and read up and pick up on like, have you thought about this? They kind of read it as a whole, and then we'll be like, it was kind of slow in places, like I forced myself to read it because you're my friend, or it's obviously not what you want, or yeah, it was brilliant, I can't wait for the next one. Like, have you thought of this though? It's about more of them reviewing it as a finished product rather than thinking they would need to put an input into every single chapter, because I made that mistake. I gave it to 3 different friends. One friend basically told me she absolutely loved it. When I then read it myself, like about 6 months later when I hadn't touched it, and I read it again, I was like, why are you going on this to read? This is nowhere near finished. It was like 22% of a story, if that. And then I mentioned, she was like, yeah, I did think that. I was like, why didn't you tell me that? Because I didn't want to hurt your feelings. So that's useless to me. I gave it to somebody else, and as soon as they picked it up, they were like, it was like the first page of the first chapter. They just went, great, I'll tell you what's wrong with it. Also, not the opinion that I want. Tell me what's wrong with it, but don't go in thinking I'm just going to pick faults with this. It's not constructive, and I already know you're going in with a negative headspace. Like, are you just going to try and pick a fault, or are you actually going to pick up on faults? So yeah, so I've already kind of learned a lot, and I think that now is like the time to push it. So my aim is to have an October release date, so it gives me time to do all of that, and it's a fantasy, so I'm hoping kind of like that whole spooky Halloween time is like the time people would be interested. It's also, depending where you're in the world, it can be really freaking cold, and you know, you're starting to wind down, like darker nights, you don't want to go out so much. It might be the time more people want to read. And I tell myself that would also make a great Christmas gift. So I've written it down as like the group was to get my book published and released for October, and I've just done a plan of action. So I won't go through it all, because if you're not interested in writing, you're going to be bored. But I just made sure to kind of list each thing that I need to do. So for example, I need to finish reading and editing, like I need to go through it all one time, enough that I can then give it to beta readers. And I need to make sure that those people are people who are actually going to read it, are actually going to tell me if they love it, if they hate it, and not be afraid to hurt my feelings, because I'm going to self-publish this it's a series, so in the hope that somebody else will then, like an agent or publisher, will want to take on the whole series. So I don't know, it's that time. That's time away from my daughter, time where I could be doing other things. So I need like that constructive criticism. I need to know what's wrong, not just like I didn't like it. I need to know what you didn't like. So if any of you guys are like into fantasies and that kind of thing, let me know, because maybe we can collaborate together and you guys could be one of my beta readers or something like that. So that's wherever you are in the world, so let me know. Other things like get a front cover designed, figure out how to actually self-publish. I sort of know, but I want to know the pitfalls going into it. I want to know like where I need to be spending my time, because obviously I'm left to market it myself and all of that. So that's like one of my main goals for myself, because it's going to be a big one, but I know I can do it. And I know, I mean, even that, just like so I know I can do it, even just doing like the law of attraction for like the last few days, if someone said to me before, I'd be like, well, yeah, I mean, like, I think I can, but it was always like, I think I can, or I think I can, but. Whereas now, even sitting here and saying, I know I can do it, is already a big major change. So read the law of attraction if you haven't. And then another one is just sort of got some like house goals. So I live with just like my daughter and my little puppy there who's snuggled up next to me. So it's just things like, you know, you kind of start off like your housework and stuff. Oh, I don't really, but things that need doing, like the bath panels come loose, things like that I'm not very good at, and I never like to pester people. So when someone goes like, do you need anything doing? I'm like, no, I'm fine. Like, I actually do. And it's one of those things that I walk in and it just bugs me. It just bugs me. Little things like that. Like, I want to repaint my bedroom, because I swapped bedrooms like a Christmas ago, not last Christmas, the one before, with my daughter, so she could have the big room with all of her toys. That's a lie, the rest of the toys are all over the house, so some of her toys, and have like the bigger space for friends and things, and then I'll just leave the room for myself. But it's never been decorated, so it's still like grey, pink and white, which were her nursery colours. Obviously I want it a little bit more grown up, a little bit more my own personal space now, because when I think of the room, like, oh, I've got a vacuum, I need to change the bed sheets, I think of, I've got to do that in the nursery, because I still see it as the nursery, because I never changed it. So that's one, just so I've kind of got my own space and it feels like a grown-up space. Just little things like my fence panels keep falling down, which it's the neighbour's responsibility, and they've said they'll sort it. I just need to find the quotes and all that. So just little bits like that, because at the moment when I let Cookie out, she can get next door. She's a lovely lady, so it's no major deal, but it makes me nervous that because I think if ever they leave their gate open, she could get out, and just different things like that. So just little bits around the house. Also, I get overwhelmed with housework. I'm not a great cleaner. And clutter makes my mind crazy, although I have a lot of stuff, because I have a lot of Disney stuff, which I would never chuck away, but I also have a lot of just stuff that is like, now I'm looking at a DVD cabinet. We don't watch the DVDs. Like, I'll keep like the best ones, like the Christmas ones, the ones my daughter watches, but there's so many over there. I don't know the last time I went over to that cupboard. Like, things like that, kind of like a big, huge declutter, so that everything's kind of got a place, and it's just less cluttered, so my mind feels less cluttered. And have kind of a cleaning schedule. And like, I put off jobs I hate, like scrubbing the toilet. I'll go 6 months, like I'll just keep putting the bleach in, or like one of them little tablet things that go on the, you know, the stick that you, whatever it's, you know what I mean, one of them. I don't scrub it. I have a toilet brush, I've never used it, like, no. And it's not necessarily it's like a filthy toilet, but obviously it needs the wipe. So my aim is to kind of have it that like once a week on a Friday it's the bathroom. So by kind of just going over it, keeping it fresh, there's no need for me to be like, oh, I've got 6 months worth of toilet to scrub, because I don't, you know, because it's been done. And things like the oven, I'm not a massive cook, I'm a microwave lady, and a lot of my stuff is like plant-based anyway. So I guess because it's not meat, I never think that the oven needs like a deep clean. Every now and again I'll think about it and I'll just give it a quick wipe and a quick spray and that's it. But in reality, like, it needs more than that. So to kind of just make myself like a chore list that each day something gets done, and it's like a focus each day or each week or every other week, a specific task, so that everything doesn't get on top of me. Because I struggle with like dirt and things, I don't know, things like grease, like, I mean, we don't eat meat, so I don't really use oil, but things like that, like, I can't touch it. I don't like it. You know, like if you've been baking, we do a lot of baking, and you get like the bit left over in the sink. I have to like build my, like, I can literally be wiping it instead of like cake mix or cookie mix, and I can literally be heaving at the sink. So to kind of just get a better grasp on things like that, I think. So obviously I've broken those down into things like get like a little storage basket. I have one for all the cleaning products that like Jasmine and Cookie Dough can't get hold of them. But then I hate like having to go upstairs and clean something because I have to come down for the polish and the cloth, take it up. Then I go like, oh yeah, the bleach for the toilet, go down, come back up. And sometimes it's just doing that. It's like I'm downstairs, I can't be asked, can't be bothered. So if I just have a little basket that I can carry around the house to encourage me to stay on top of it, that's the plan. That's the plan. So if anyone's got any like, I'm not a follower of Mrs. Hinch because I don't like cleaning, but if anyone's got any like tips or anything that, you know, if you're also like a lazy cleaner and kind of a hoarder, come at me with all your suggestions and tips so I can give them a go. Like that's what I need. Another main goal is like healthier me, so like I'm a bit more self-care. I have a lung condition that like just as COVID started, before we went into that big worldwide lockdown, I ended up with, they thought it was pneumonia, but the blood results were never matching up and I just could not shift it. For 14 weeks I was virtually like housebound, bedridden. I was so poorly. By the time I got a lung, like my doctor's like, we need to send you for a chest x-ray. I got that done, and it turned out that my left lung is abnormal. They don't know why, but it's like deformed and abnormal, so they needed further investigations. Then COVID happened, so I didn't get seen for over a year. I had tests done in August and I'm still waiting for the results and I'm still chasing them. I'm that person that if it's for my daughter, I will hound. By like the third phone call, they're getting arsiness. I have to remind myself it's not the receptionist's fault, and I'm literally like, look, I'm gonna get pissy in a minute. I suggest you go put someone in charge on the phone because I ain't gonna hold back. I'm like that. When it comes to myself, I'm like, oh yeah, fine, when I get time. When I get time. Like I have a mole on the back of my leg that has grown, and I'm that person that every time someone says, you need to get that looked at, now I'm like, yeah, right, yeah, at some point. Whereas if it's my daughter, it's a cough, and I'm like, do you think she's got COVID? Has she got bronchitis? I'm very much that. But I need to be that for myself, because obviously if I get, you know, an inhaler or whatever it is I may need, same as I have a cyst on my brain, I never push for like, you know, and they'll say like, yeah, we'll send you a referral for a scan, and I'll push. I'll go 6 or 7 months without saying anything and just suffer with the pain. And the same as I have endometriosis, the same thing. I will make a phone call if it's like, oh, they're not in, call back. I forget. Or if they go like, yeah, you know, the results should come out in 2 weeks, so just wait, patient. It's a bit of a backlog. After 2 weeks, I'm like, should I phone back? Like, she seemed a bit arsey with me. Like, yes, of course I should phone back, because the healthier I am and the more I can control the pain. Just because it's a chronic condition doesn't mean you have to live fully in pain. Like, I should have the motivation to kick people at the arse so they actually do their job, so that I'm the best mom I can be and the best me I can be, and I can enjoy life, which goes back to when I had the nervous breakdown. So that's a big one, is to kind of advocate for myself a bit more, and also just adapt some more healthy habits. Like I don't drink a lot of water, or I don't really drink a lot of anything, which obviously encourages more headaches. It doesn't help anything with, like, you know, digestions or that times of the month and all that, which obviously a lot of that goes into endometriosis, if you didn't know. Just things like that. So to kind of, obviously I'm already pretty healthy, I'm vegan, so a lot of my food is plant-based, but just things like drink more water, eat more fruit. I already do fitness, I already meditate. I want to get back into yoga so that it's just something that stiffens, I get like quite stiff. But also I heard that yoga can actually help with endometriosis because it stretches the muscles and things like that. So just try and have a healthier me, but with some of these little things that I can manage. Obviously how fast somebody gets back to me with a scan or results or medication or seeing somebody, I can't control that. I can push and push and push, but I can control the little bits that I can do to kind of ease it off, which includes things like just taking a mental break. So like have a bath. Normally I'm in the bath and I'll like be doing emails or replying to comments on social media, or I'll edit a YouTube video. So I think, right, half an hour in the bath, I can edit a video in that time. Instead it's just have the bath, like read a book, read The Secret, whatever it might be. Catch up on a YouTube channel I like to watch, something like that. So it's just having that mental calmness. And then a couple of other things are things like actually go out on a grown-up date. Now I've put this once every 3 months. Now I say date, it doesn't mean men or women, whichever I'm into. It just means things like my best friend lives across the road, So just things like, you know, go for a coffee date without our kids, or go and see like one of my other friends without Jasmine, which sounds awful and I already feel guilty for it. But sometimes you just need that, because you'll know if you're a mum on your own or a dad on your own and you take a kid out, you got eyes everywhere, because you never know what's going to happen. There's dangers, there's stresses, there's hazards, and you got to keep them entertained. Sometimes it's so much stress when then you just want to like kind of just relax for a couple with your friend. Obviously, if I choose to take Jasmine out, I'll just go to a soft play, or go swimming or whatever. Obviously, she doesn't want to sit in a coffee shop, so it's to kind of separate my time and my time with my daughter, so that I get that kind of adult time. And then on to parenting. So Jasmine has a bowel issue, which I'm not going to get into, but she does. So she struggles with going to the toilet and things like that, which makes nappy training a little difficult. Not impossible, but a little difficult for her. And so it's just things like I've written myself a schedule of when I kind of want to out the nappies in the day, which my aim is to get out of nappies during the day by the end of the year. Make sure she gets plenty of praise. I mean, I do, but obviously it's times I lose my patience because she gets so scared of the pain. And I'm trying to make her understand that it's revolving, it's like a vicious cycle. Like if she doesn't go, everything builds up, everything ends up infected, we end up in the hospital, which we've done, with sepsis nonetheless. So, you know, obviously straight away I get, and she's only 4, she was 3 when that happened, so straight away I get panicked of that situation, and I'm trying to like, do you want to go back to hospital, do you want this to happen, do you want that to happen again? It's not fair to do to a 4-year-old, because she doesn't understand. Obviously it was a scary time, so it's just kind of being more patient with it. And I think the biggest thing is I feel like I'm failing as a mum, so my goal is just kind of understand that my aim is just to guide her through it. I don't need to worry about everyone saying, oh, she's 4, she should be out of nappies by now. Like, my kid's not your kid. I know what's best for my kid, and as long as she and her dad and I are working together, and she's moving forward all the time and progressing, that's all that matters. So that's one of my biggest goals, is to get out of the nappies, but to remember whether it's whatever it is that I'm doing, is that I'm the best parent for my daughter, well, her dad and I obviously, and to just kind of not be pressured by society and social media and health visitors and all of that. That goes on with things like she should be wearing eye patches on one eye. So again, just to kind of written down a plan of like by January she'll be wearing it this much, February, March, April, and then just a little note of some things that I can do to encourage her. So she does have reward charts. I thought rewarding her with things like, if you do this by the end of the month, we'll go to like, I don't know, somewhere she may want to go, Peppa Pig World or wherever. Just kind of have that extra bit specific to that task rather than as a daily. And things like a mum-daughter date monthly. So I kind of get stressed out sometimes taking her out, because I never know if my endo's going to play up or anything like that, and sometimes it can be difficult. And if her stomach plays up and she can't really walk very well, she needs carrying, and my endo's already bad, it's a vicious circle. So I want to make sure that we kind of get out of the house once a month, where it's she and I for a day. Cookie Doe's looking at me. I'm sorry, Cookie Doe, you can't come, I'm sorry. We always bring you something nice back though, don't we? Yes, it's kind of just like once a month where we can go off and do something really fun, and it's going to be regardless of the pain. We're going to make it a great day. And then just one of my main things is to have like unplugged moments with her. So even if I set my timer for an hour on my phone, it's like an hour of whatever she wants to play with, or she loves crafts, whatever it is. It's just, there's no phone. Like, I don't care if the Queen phones me, she'll have to leave a voicemail. You know, it's that hour of nothing else matters but that quality time with her, not me getting up and down or answering the phone or checking social media. Like the unplugged quality time for her. And then I've got some stuff for the future. So these are just like kind of now that will hopefully help me in the future. So things like, one is the only one actually is I've been thinking about applying for like a uni course from home. So lots of things I'm interested in, like animals, mental health, things like that. So I'm currently doing pro-con lists for each of the courses. Like for example, animal welfare, I love all of that. In reality, I'm probably not I'm probably not the right person mentally and emotionally for that. Like, I mean, I will go in, I will get someone bigger than me to kick a door down, but I get very attached. So I'm the person that I will see someone on social media, I follow these charities because I like what they do, but then, you know, a post comes up of an abused animal and I cry. Like an animal rescue that I follow and I've donated to a few times, so I kind of, and they're very local, so I feel kind of a little bit more, I've spoken to them personally, and they recently had a little cat who had just been neglected, like a baby kitten, and it ended up with like flu, and I can't remember the name of the virus, but the virus that cats get, and it had fought all through Christmas. It started to seem like they were going to improve, and then it just went downhill, and then unfortunately that cat passed away, and they've got like a little memorial set up at the rescue, you know, to remind them, and they've got their ashes, and I think that's really lovely. But things like that, like I cried, I read that and I cried, like I never met the cat, but yeah, I cried, things like that. So I don't think animal welfare is one for me, like it's one of my major passions. I think kind of having to be like a vet, you know, if you have to euthanize, even if it's a really sick animal, and I would have to euthanize because it's nicer, I couldn't, I'd be broken. I think things like even working, you know, going and rescuing animals, and I know what I'm like. So I kind of still want to do a lot to do with animals, but I think probably something to do with the mental health sector, just because I've had a nervous breakdown, I suffer with eating disorders, things like that. There's a lot that I think I could probably bring to a table. Like I remember the first person I saw for anorexia when I was 19 and never had an eating disorder. Like I remember they were just saying things, it just didn't resonate. And I said, like, what eating disorder have you had? And they went, oh, I've had none. I never went back. Like, how can you possibly help understand someone and get them to understand you and help fix an issue or work with an issue when you don't even understand it yourself? Like, and I feel like that's something I would be good at, because I do understand a lot of it. Like I've gone through abusive relationships, abusive friendships, I've gone through like I said, eating disorders, chronic pain, which can just bring you down anyway. I've had sexual assault from when I was modelling, just a lot of different things that I think I've actually had them, so I feel like I could probably help in that way. So that is one thing to do. Obviously it's from home, so it was like a 6-year course because like part-time at home, but that will hopefully set me up for a future like kind of fallback career, or just something that I just hopefully can help people with. That's a long one. Then I've got some influencing goals. So obviously I love doing YouTube and things like that, and I love like fitness and everything. I want to kind of incorporate all of that. I want to do a lot more vegan stuff on my channel, because when I can be bothered, I can cook really good like vegan recipes. I just never think to include them really, but I should. And I do a lot of things like signing petitions for animals and things like that, but unless it's on Facebook, I very rarely promote it anywhere else, and I should, because a lot of the people I follow, obviously we follow and they follow me because we're into the same things. So just kind of get a bit more, I guess a bit more who I am out there as an influencer. And then I've obviously got some number goals. So for example, I would love to have by the end of the year 50,000 subscribers on YouTube. But I actually want them to be like active subscribers, you know, I want them to be people that haven't just subscribed once and then don't really watch me, but people that I can keep bringing back, either because they like my fitness videos or they like just my personality, or we can relate on certain things. So I want it to be kind of 50,000 people that are like a little community, so we can all like bounce off each other and things like that. There are some YouTubers I follow, like Imogen Horton is one of them, where we do occasionally like speak back and forth to each other, and you know, it's not just a watch my video, cheers, it's like she'll give little bits of advice and things like that. So I kind of want it to be a community where we can actually like be virtual friends, if that's the right way of saying it, because the world is a huge place but it can feel very small. So that's my aim, is to build like my YouTube community, my Instagram community, to be an actual community where people can just like, you know, help each other live a great lifestyle, like on the cheap, where we can, you know, help with like parenting hacks, especially if you've got children that have certain issues or illnesses, or if you yourself have an illness, especially things like mental health. Obviously with the pandemic, I think it's talked a lot more about now, but it can still be very hard to get professional help. Before I had my breakdown, I'd actually called my doctor on the Friday, and I was like told I'd get a referral, which I understand it takes time. 2 days later I'd had a major nervous breakdown. Yeah, then I already got a therapy appointment based on the fact that I said, you know, I literally had a breakdown over the weekend. So it shouldn't be like that. You shouldn't have to push or get to that stage where they're like, oh, okay, we'll fast track you. So I think that if you are waiting, then to have some sort of a community with people that might not be in the same country as you or the same home as you, but that you can feel like they're right there with you going through it, that's kind of what I want to create. So I've just got like a list of different ideas I want to do. Like I want to document my secret journey with like the law of attraction, and just some mental health stuff, and how I deal with endo. Like I know a lot of people are getting diagnosed with it more often now that people know about it, and so just, you know, sharing tips for things like that. But then I still want to keep my channel light, so I want to do like some challenges, I want to do just some hauls, things like that. And then I have a few like financial goals. They're not major, not like buy a £1 million house next year or anything like that. Just some financial ones that I want to like set aside. Like I want to take my daughter to Disneyland Florida when she's about 8 or 9, so she can really appreciate it and remember it and kind of take part in everything. So just some little ones like that. And then my last main goal is to make a difference, which I put down as 2 things. So one is to advocate more for animals, as I said, like kind of get involved more with groups. Like I don't just want to just kind of like retweet things and just send like £10 here and there, or like some wet food for cats and stuff. I don't want to just do that. I want to be a lot more involved. Like I'm against fox hunting. I don't just want to say it, I kind of want to get seriously involved in making a difference. And maybe like go and help at a rescue and vlog it. I don't mean vlog me so I get praise, I mean vlog what the rescue's doing, so you can actually see, like, you know, if maybe you've got a spare day every now and again, maybe you're an animal lover, maybe you could go and help out. Like you'll see what they actually do, or if you donate money, you'll see what actually happens with your money. So hopefully I can make a difference that way. And then another way I want to make a difference is through veganism. So it's not something I want to shove down people's throats, but I do get a lot of flack for it. Like even people close to me, I get, some people are just joking, but some people start to get like, why? What difference you making? I get that face. It takes almost strength not to punch me in the face, let me tell you. But then when I go to show them a video, they're like, no, I can't see it, I can't watch it. It's like, well, like you should at least see what happens to that animal to put that meat on your plate. Like by all means eat the meat, but do you not think you should be saying like, look, I'll buy your burgers when you at least don't kill the animal in the way that you do? Like that's what it's about. It's not about preaching. And the amount of times I'll put something on Instagram or Twitter about veganism and I'll get a DM going, oh, here we go, it's a preacher. It's like, I'm not preaching, I'm just trying to stop animal abuse, I guess, because it's not necessary to put that burger on your plate. Like they could kill them in, like, if you've never, I don't want to upset people, but if you've never actually watched a video, watch it, because they don't need to be killed like that for you to eat the burger. There's plenty of ways that it could go down a heck of a lot better than that, and that's kind of what I want to get across. That and the fact that veganism actually is really good for you in a lot of ways. There are a lot of things that having meat can actually do that's bad for your body. I mean, there are a lot of fitness celebrities out there, fitness athletes, whatever it is, like sports personalities that are actually vegan, that still manage to lift those weights and still manage to run the way that they do and all of that stuff. So it's not like you go vegan and you've got nothing in your body. It can actually be really good for you in a lot of different ways, even if you just did it like half and half. So I kind of want to kind of promote that a little bit more on my channel and tell you some recipes and some health benefits and things like that. So a lot of goals, a lot of talking. One is to talk less and ramble less in these videos, but I'm so excited to have really my goals. And then hopefully this time next year I can, which sounds far away, but I know it'll go like that. So hopefully I'll be able to reflect and I'll have ticked off all of these, I'm hoping, but hopefully some So thank you so much for watching. If we've got any of the similar goals, then comment down below. Maybe we can kind of a little support team for each other. I would love that, because nobody else I know is really into the same things as me, so it sometimes feel a little lonely when you have no one else to kind of confer with, if you like. So that would be nice. And as I said, I'm looking for beta readers for my books. If any of you are into reading, I mean, you don't have to be like a lecturer or an author yourself. Literally, obviously most people that read your books are everyday people like myself. So if you're into reading, especially if you're into fantasies and stuff like that, and you would like to read my finished book before I take the plunge and kind of get it out there, then comment down below or DM me or go over to Instagram. I'll leave the link down below and let me know, because I would appreciate any help, any feedback that I can get. And I will also link the law of attraction down below as well. It's left me feeling a lot more motivated for this year, I think, and a little bit more tunnel vision for this year as well. I'm a person that I'll have an idea and then it's almost like I'm running down like a really long, like Forrest Gump. It's like I'm doing that run, but everything I run past is like another like problem of like, oh, but what if this happens? What about that? Have you thought about that? Since I've been doing law of attraction, which I started like towards the end of last year, I feel a lot more tunnel vision. So it's like, that's the goal. This, like, I'm just going to the goal. I'm not passing anything. There's nothing here. I'm not passing it. It's just like rainbows and sparkly lights, if you like. So I'll link that down below. So hopefully, if you kind of, I think there's a lot of pressure in New Year to like just start and getting your goals and be motivated and all this stuff. If you're not feeling like that, then maybe check out this book. There's also a documentary from the same book, like the same series, on Netflix, and you can find lots on YouTube. Like a lot of influencers do it. Lots of like life coaches and therapists and that also talk about it. So I'll link that down below, and hopefully it inspires you if you're not inspired. Yeah, that's it. So happy new year. I hope it's going great for you so far. If it isn't, then we're only a few days in. Do not panic, there's plenty of time. Thank you for watching my video. I don't know how you found me, but I'm glad you did. If you already subscribed, thank you. If not, please do. I promise the rambling will go down eventually. Like, I'll get to the end of the video and I won't be bothered to talk, and I'll just be like, yeah, here's a duster, £2. Here's some batteries. Oh, batteries, that's what I meant to get. Batteries. Got tea light, but I need batteries. Why do they sell like tea? If you're gonna sell someone an LED candle, why wouldn't you sell it with the battery? Because really, you just sold me a plastic candle. It's not LED without the battery to make it light up. I don't have batteries now. But thank you for watching. Please consider subscribing, sticking around, checking me out again. I don't always talk this much. I'm not always that crazy. Yeah. So I now need to finish taking down my Christmas decorations. Makes me sad. I've actually got all decorations here. I've just shoved them up on the top, so no one's going like, take your tree down, what's wrong with you? But I am now going to go and take my tree down, which makes me kind of sad, but I'll have more room. That's how I'm looking at it, and it'll be up again in 10 months time. Oh god, it's going to go so fast, isn't it? Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.